came in. Not able, oh, I see, attendees 1. Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit more until a few more people come in, and then we can introduce ourselves, but thank you so much for coming today. Yeah, we're excited to show off St. Mike's, and hopefully you have a good tour. I know it's kind of like different right now with all of the virtual stuff, but I think this is good because we'll be able to show around campus, some of the buildings, and answer any questions that come up. So let me see how many participants. Still only at 1. I guess we can introduce ourselves first, and if anybody else comes in, we can kind of reintroduce ourselves. Yeah. So we're going to be our tour guides for you today. I'm Colleen. I'm a junior. I'm an English major, and I'm minoring in gender studies and applied linguistics. I'm from Maryland, which is pretty far away, but I absolutely love Vermont, and St. Mike's is just the best place ever. Here I'm involved as a tour guide in the Founders Society. I'm a member of DREAM, which is an organization that works through our MOVE office, which is our mobilization of volunteer efforts. So it's our volunteer clubs on campus. And then I am working in the makerspace, which is kind of like our craft room. And then at the Career Education Center, helping students with their resumes and interview skills. And if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Swapnil. I'm a first-year student this year, and I'm a statistics and psychology double major. And I'm from India, so I'm an international student. And I'm not involved in a lot of things as of right now, but I will be involved in a lot of things next year because I had to apply to a lot of things this year. So I will be a resident assistant next year. I will also be working with the Adventure Sports Center here.
Nice.
And I will be a tour guide officially. I'm an apprentice. I'm following her today. So yeah, if you guys have any questions throughout today's Zoominar, then you can post them in the comments. Yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll start on the tour. And just if any questions come up, like Swapnil said, put them in the chat and we're going to do our best to answer it. So yeah, we're going to start. I'm going to flip the screen. If I can figure out. Yes. So right now we are in our Welcome Center. This is our admissions office. So if you were here in person, this is kind of the first thing that you would see. I really like it at Christmas time. It's decorated super nice and it's just such a welcoming place on campus. But we're going to head outside and we're going to head to our chapel first. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks. All right.
So that, I don't know if you can actually see it, but that is our chapel. And we'll be going there and tell you more about it. Right now, as Colleen said, we were at the Welcome Center and the actual campus is not very big. It is a good sized campus and there are a lot of other areas that are part of campus that are not actually buildings that you can make use of. So we'll just be concentrating on the main campus, which is most of the buildings for today. And again, this is the chapel, if you can see it. And this is one of the biggest chapels in Vermont. Our school is a Catholic school run by an Adventist society. And about 60% of the students self-report as Catholic. But that does not put any pressure on the students to follow any kind of Catholic traditions or Christian traditions. I myself do not identify as Catholic, and I have attended a number of interfaith services here where I got to put input from my faith in an interfaith dialogue. So there is, again, no kind of pressure to follow any kind of religious or spiritual societies or rituals or anything. You are free to participate. You are welcome to participate if you want, but you do not have to at all.
Yeah. And then also just like kind of give you an idea of where we're at right now. As Swapnil said, we're headed to our chapel, which is right over there. But then this is kind of we can see the quad on campus, and here are some more buildings. We're going to be taking a loop around. So we'll be able to see inside all of them. But yeah, we're gonna go inside the chapel right now. And if you have any questions about the religious component of our college or just anything in general about religion, Christianity requirements, feel free to put them in the chat. Once we get in, we're gonna talk a little bit more just about the academic components of our Catholic identity. Thank you. So right now it's Lent and they're doing a food donation drive and shelf. They have things like that throughout the year, which is really nice. And this is our chapel. So has a nice skylight, and as Swap Meal said, it's the largest chapel in all of Vermont. Yeah, he kind of did a great job saying everything. The only thing I would add is just that as part of the education requirement on campus, you will have to take a Christianity class as a first year or a sophomore. It's an introduction to Christianity, and then you'll take an upper level Christianity class that's really kind of more about engaging diverse cultures and talking about social justice issues. We're gonna head out just this way, just in case anyone's using the chapel. But yeah, the Edmondites, which are the sect of priests that founded this campus, thank you. Their pillars are social justice, education, and just kind of community involvement and commitment. So you'll see that a lot of students around here are very volunteer oriented, and people really just kind of like look out for each other and help each other, which is really great. Yeah, but at Swap Meal, he did a great job saying about kind of like where we stand on the Catholic or not Catholic. Nothing's pushed on you or anything, but there's a lot of opportunities to get involved if you're interested. Then we'll switch the camera again, hand it off to Swap Meal.
Hello.
Hello. So yeah, you can kind of see from here, straight back there is our library, which is nice when it's a bit nicer weather. It's a little rainy today, but you'll see people kind of sitting on the library lawn and reading or doing homework, which is super nice. And we're headed towards our academic buildings right now. Not sure if you'll be able to see across the street, but we have a view of Mount Mansfield over there. It's a little foggy today.
So Colleen,
Yes.
What would you do if it wasn't raining today?
Ooh. All right, if it was not raining today, it's our break day on campus right now, which is super nice. Instead of a spring break, we had 3 break days throughout the semester, which have been really nice because it's kind of that point where you just have work and you just want to take a break. So I think I would have probably, if it was a nicer day, not raining, sat outside with my friends and just hung out, maybe listen to some music or just, I don't know. We have a ton of board and card games in our apartment, so it's very likely we would have brought one of those outside and played. But what about you?
I would have gone on a walk to Gilbrook,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of a natural area that is attached to the campus. It is part of campus, and there are no buildings there, but it's a really nice place to just hang out and go on walks and runs. So I would most probably be there if I was not hanging out with friends or studying or something like that. So
we're gonna stop in here real quick and kind of show Cafe Charade. So right now we're in our science building, which is one of the academic buildings here on campus. They're kind of confined to 3 buildings. This is where all your science classes are going to be, and then the other 2 are kind of more of a mix of the liberal arts and humanities. So this is super nice because if you have back-to-back classes, it's very helpful to come here and get coffee or something to eat. Just kind of keep you motivated to learn. But yeah, this is one of our dining options on campus. We also have another one in our student center, and then we have our cafeteria, which we'll get to later. We're going to come in here. Is it turned on? Okay. I can never figure out the light. Okay. So right now we're standing in our biggest lecture hall on campus. And as you can see, it's really not that big. It only seats 100 people, which is like the absolute most you would ever have in a class, which is really different from big schools that like 100 people per class is kind of the norm. This would be if you're interested in the sciences, an introduction to science class like Bio 101 or something like that would be, your lecture would be in here, but then you would still break off into smaller groups for labs and stuff. So even if you are in a class with a bunch of other people, you're still going to have a chance to have a smaller group to get to know better. And then also just like that way you get to be on better terms with your professor. And personally, I think it's easier to kind of absorb information if it's with a smaller group where you can kind of talk things out, which is really helpful. I'm not a science major. I'm not a science person at all. So I've not ever had like a big bio class like this. I'm a very big fan of our small class sizes here. As I mentioned, I just learned better in a group talking out session. But yeah, we do have a lecture hall, and then some other kind of room setups. We have a lot of table discussions, which we're going to show you in a second. And then we also have some more like stereotypical high school classroom setups in a way, where you just have rows of desks. But yeah, so that's this room. I'm going to turn off the lights. Okay. We're going to continue down this hallway. And then on the second and third floor of this building is where we have a lot of our science labs. And those are like on the second floor.
So Colleen, as you said, you're not a science major yourself,
Yes.
but would you still ever have any classes here if you are not?
I have had one class in this building. I honestly don't know why it was in here because it was an anthropology class. But yeah, we kind of use all the space. A lot of the learning is very overlapping, which I really like. It helps for kind of like getting to know people that might not be in your specific major. Because yeah, when I had my anthropology class in here, I kept running into a bunch of science majors that maybe I wouldn't have seen in the building right next to me, like a bigger school or something. But here it's really easy to kind of mix friend groups and stuff. And right here is our printer in this building. We have a bunch of printers all around campus, and you get $40 each semester to use to print, each academic year, which is a ton of money because one page is 5 cents. I've used $3 this whole year to print, and it's super helpful because they're in the library and our student center, our cafeteria, so all over campus. No need to bring a printer on your own. So right now, this is kind of our academic courtyard area. What we just left is the science building, and then these two are more of our humanity buildings. As you can see, they're all connected on the second and third floor, which is super nice when it's snowing or really cold and you don't want to go outside. So we're gonna head over into one of the classrooms in St. Edmunds, and that's kind of a table discussion classroom. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the liberal arts curriculum. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to just kind of talk more generally about our class experiences.
So Colleen, what has been your favorite class so far?
Ooh. I really enjoyed they're just 2 English classes. They're tied between, I took a fairy tales class, which was super interesting. And then I took a class about 18th and 19th century women's literature, which was so cool. And they were both with my favorite professor, actually. So that's a bonus. Can take this if that's okay. So right now we are in one of our smaller classrooms, and this is actually kind of a pretty typical setup for classes that are discussion based. You're going to be around a table. Usually there's more chairs than this. This is because COVID has cut down on how many people can be in a room. But yeah, Swapnil and I are just going to kind of hang out in here for a minute and talk about the liberal arts curriculum and stuff. So yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about the classes you're going to need to take, and then anything you would give advice to incoming students?
Yeah, so as a first year student, when you join, there's a first year seminar that you're required to take. And most likely it will happen in a room like this because they're heavily discussion based, and rooms like this where you can kind of like see people and not just their backs, I think are really helpful for discussions. I myself had my first year seminar online because I couldn't join the first semester. But if you happen to get to be on campus, it will be most likely in a room like this, and you get to talk to your professors and your classmates and really get to know them. And it's also there to help you better understand what college level writing is about and what college level academic integrity is about, and what counts as plagiarism and what you should and shouldn't do while writing papers and things like that. And that is just one of the things that you are kind of required to take. There's another junior seminar that you're required to take when you're a junior. And other than that, the core curriculum asks you to take some math courses or English courses, history courses, art courses, science courses, and as Colleen already mentioned, 2 Christianity courses. And you can kind of spread all of these over your 4 years in the college. So you do not need to take all of them as soon as you come, but you can, that's up to you. And that also brings us another important point. You will be assigned an advisor or multiple advisors, depending on how many majors and minors you're taking. And they are there to help you and guide you. And all the professors, doesn't matter if they're your advisors or not, are all really helpful. So you can even go up to professors that have taught you or who haven't even taught you, and just ask them for help outside of class, and maybe just like coming up with a schedule that works for you, because there is a recommended course selection that you can take, like per year. The first year you can take all these courses, but if you want to do something that is not recommended, you can kind of work with your advisors and other teachers to come up with a plan that works for you. Yeah, so one of my first year professors, Dr. Pauline, I really loved her class. If you're going to be a first year student, I really recommend taking performance art and social justice. I just love that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, the professors are great about just working with you, being really flexible. Right now, like during COVID, my professors have just been amazing about like honestly like recognizing that it's a hard time for a lot of students, and they're really great about being patient and listening and being receptive to kind of what their students are going through. I think something that is really special about our school is that I really feel like the professors are there to really help us learn and to help us grow as people and students. We never have any TAs teaching the classes, and the professors are always 100% focused on us and the classes. It's not like they're here to just do a bunch of research and then also collect a paycheck. Like they really care about us, like Swapnil was saying. And we just have some really interesting classes. Like Swapnil said about our liberal arts curriculum, you do have to take certain classes in certain subjects, but it's all to kind of garner a well-rounded education. And if you're not like a math person or a science person like I am, there's a lot of other classes that are specifically geared towards people who aren't super into like math, for instance, still get their math credit. Like I took financial planning and literacy, which was super good because like it's important to be able to like calculate a mortgage and do your taxes. And that's going to help me after college. And it wasn't like I was taking calculus or something. So there's a lot of ways that the school and the professors will work with you and work towards your strengths. Yeah, and there's a ton of opportunity to have classes that overlap. So a lot of people double major or double minor or study abroad, which we'll talk about a little bit in the library. But yeah, that's kind of our education spiel. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat, but otherwise we're gonna move on. Thank you very much. So we're gonna head out this door again. Thank you. So right now we're walking towards McCarthy, which is our art building. And this is our teaching garden right here. It's a little sad looking right now, but in just a couple weeks, in the spring and the summer, this is going to be super colorful with a bunch of plants and flowers that are native to Vermont, which is super nice. And I really like to sit here and read. It's a really peaceful spot. And then these buildings right here is our study abroad office, and then just some other campus administrator offices on campus.
If you just want to come and hang out here, there are also some fun things that you can kind of do with friends. So that circle, you can see it has a bunch of stones and they have all these random words on them. And you can use them to write sentences, poetry, or anything that you want to, and just like hang out and things. There's also a tiny chessboard carved into a stone there. So if you want, you can play that with friends, just hang out, sunbathe, and things like that. I am also part of the drama club here. So we sometimes come out and practice our lines and things like that.
Thank you.
So
we're gonna go to like the main place. So right now we're going into our theater, and once we get to kind of like the main area, Swap Meal's gonna talk a little bit about that. Almost tripped.
all of these are some of the plays that we have already done in the past and have went really well. And we kind of took the back door of McCarthy, kind of, and this is the main entrance.
Yeah, and we're gonna head in here, turn on the lights. Okay. Sorry, the lights take forever to turn on. Okay, so do you want to talk a little bit about McCarthy?
Yeah, so McCarthy, as Colleen already said, is our art center. So a lot of the theater classes and music classes and practices happen here. And there's a second floor, which is primarily used for music because we have like 4 a cappella rooms up there. And there's a bunch of instruments you can practice by yourself or with the teacher. And this is one of the bigger halls that we have. It is generally not used for classes. It is generally used for outside speakers and things like that. So when someone comes, a guest or a speaker, they might present here. We can sometimes also might be able to do some small theater pieces even, but we have a bigger and proper stage for that, which we will show you shortly. It's free.
Yeah, and we have some a cappella groups that perform here. And then, as Swapnil said, our guest speakers, they're some really interesting people. The best one that I've seen has been, we had the last 2 remaining survivors of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings, which was just phenomenal. I've never heard a better speech. So that's kind of like the caliber of people that are able to come and talk here. So we're going to show you into our main stage theater. Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, so this is our main stage, and we generally host about 2 productions per year, and many smaller ones. And the number of artistic festivals that we hold here, where people just come and sometimes write plays overnight and perform them overnight. Sometimes it's like it's so quick that people have not even memorized the lines, so they're reading off the script. But it is really fun because like it is kind of completely student written and student acted. So there's no like Shakespeare or anything per se. It's like 100% out of students for students in the community. And yeah, like I said, we also have a number of smaller plays. I am in one of those right now. We are doing Eurydice by Sarah Rowell. And if you are interested in that, we will be airing it on the 16th of April. So if you want to attend that, you can also do that. We are not hosting a crowd because of COVID restrictions, but we will be live streaming it. And yeah, so that is not like one of the bigger products. It is for a senior project, which they're required to do as a theater major. And I myself am not a theater or arts major, but it is one of my interests and I can just do that. That is one of the beautiful things about St. Michael's. Even if you are not a particular major, but you're interested in doing something with that major or just an activity, you can still go and approach. And because everyone is kind of welcome to participate in all activities. As for theater, even if you have no experience with theater, you're welcome to audition. And if you do not want to act, you're still welcome to watch. And all productions are free for students to watch. And being a part of St. Michael's also gives you a number of free passes for a number of theater related programs that happen all over Vermont. So like at St. Michael's, we have the Playhouse, and we have the Greater Burlington Theater Project and a number of other projects like that. So you kind of get free passes or discounts for being a St. Michael's student. So, and this also applies to, like I said, to all the other activities. So like anything that you're interested in, even if you're not like the major for that, you can still go and do it.
Yeah. All right. And then over here is where we have our senior art major gallery. So as a senior art major, you're required to kind of have a senior show, and when the doors open, anyone can come in. So it looks like this person did paintings of animals, which is super cool. I wish I could do art. But yeah, we have a lot of spaces on campus here that just kind of give opportunities for students to support other students in their interests, which I think is really cool. It used to be one of my favorite things pre-COVID to go to the sports games and cheer everyone on. Okay. So we're gonna head out now. And just in case anyone is just joining us, I am Colleen and this is Swap Meal. And we're kind of showing you around St. Mike's.
Okay. And if you happen to have any questions at all,
yes,
feel free to put them in the chat.
Thank you. So coming out of our theater and kind of recital hall area, we're right here on a parking lot, which is a good time to talk about parking. We're gonna head off this way and I'm gonna talk a little bit about parking. If anyone can't hear me, please put it in the chat. But as a freshman on campus, you're not allowed to have a car, but it's not a problem because we have a bus stop right behind that big tree over there. And it takes you to a bunch of places in the surrounding counties. Goes straight to Burlington, which is super nice. You can walk on the waterfront. There's a ton of dogs there, which is just the best thing ever. And then Church Street is just one of the best places in Vermont, if not the United States. It's so pretty. There's a ton of shops, good restaurants, and it's just so nice to just kind of walk around there. I did that a lot as a freshman. My friends and I would take the bus and we would just go to Church Street. But it also goes to Winooski and South Burlington, which has more like shopping and grocery stores and stuff like that. So super easy if you need to get off campus, but it's also very likely that you're going to know somebody who has a car. So yeah, the no car as a freshman really doesn't come up as a problem. But what is one of your favorite things to do off campus? Swap Neil.
I mean, I have not been able to go out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This semester, but I guess I really like going on ice climbing trips.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk more about the Adventure Sports Center later, but the Adventure Sports Center does take you on outdoor activities if you're interested in that. And you don't need to be experienced with any of the things you do, because they have introductory courses where they literally kind of tell you how to do every and anything. So, and it's pretty safe. Safety is a priority.
Yeah.
And it is raining here. So yeah, what is one of your favorite things to do?
Yeah, going to Church Street or the waterfront, I really like. One of my favorite memories from freshman year, my friend and I went to an art exhibit on, thank you, yeah, you're taller than me. My friends and I went to an art exhibit on Church Street, and it was super, super cool. It was all about whales, which is kind of weird, but it was completely interactive. So they had a bunch of whale sounds and pictures of whales, and then a video of like a whaling expedition. And it was so weird because I was reading Moby Dick in one of my English classes, so it tied in perfectly, and it wasn't even like with St. Mike's, but yeah, it was just such a cool thing. Like I'd never seen anything like that before.
Destiny works in weird ways.
Yeah. So we are headed into our gym. Usually it's not like, the reason why the walk was a little longer was just because we have to go around. We can only go in one entrance due to COVID restrictions. But walking like completely across campus, not going to take you more than 15 minutes, which is super nice. Yep.
So this is one of our sports centers.
We're just doing a pour. So this is Ross and Sharon. This is our gym and kind of sports center. So down that way is where our auxiliary gym is. That's where a lot of the sports teams practice. And then we have also like an upstairs track, which anyone can use. Anyone can use any of the facilities in here, as long as the sports team's not using it. It's super easy to check out something at the desk if you want to play basketball with your friends or something like that. And then we have 2 racquetball courts down this hallway. And we're gonna head over here.
That side of the gym is right now also being used as a COVID testing site, because we have weekly COVID testings to keep everyone in the community and around the community safe.
And then here's our rock wall. Not a super big one, but as Swapnil had mentioned earlier, we have a lot of joint passes with things off campus. And so if you want to kind of get into rock climbing, you can do a little rock climbing thing here, and then you can go to Petra Cliffs, which is a rock climbing center just off campus. We have a really good student discount for that. And this is through our Adventure Sports. This, oh my gosh, center. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let Swapnil talk a little bit about it because I know that he does stuff with the Adventure Sports.
So Adventure Sports Center, as the name suggests, is kind of a lot about doing outdoors stuff, which is like snowshoeing, hiking, mountaineering, ice climbing, and it also depends on what season it is. So in the spring and summer, there's also like canoeing and a lot more water related activities. And then during winters, there's like skiing and ice climbing and all of that. But other than just doing normal trips, the Adventure Sports Center also kind of gives you training if you want. So there's mountain leader training, there's training for being a guide on trips like that. So I will be doing the mountain leader training next semester.
Nice.
So it is free for all St. Michael students. And yeah, they also take you on all these trips as a leader. So when you're doing your training, you will be working with a bunch of people from the center who are all trained in first aid and outdoor training and providing that training to you. And
yeah, it's super cheap for students. Like any of the equipment, like I don't think it's more than $15 to rent stuff. I learned to ski my freshman year for $50, which if nobody knows how to ski, which I didn't coming from Maryland, that is an insane deal.
Which also includes your costume privilege.
So right here, this is our Varsity Gym. So this is kind of where a lot of our, this is where our basketball and volleyball games go on. As I mentioned before, it used to be one of my favorite things to come here. Our president would show up here. Take that. Thank you. Our president would be here with her purple and gold light up sneakers, which was just the funnest thing ever. And then this is also where a lot of our orientation activities take place and graduation activities, just because it's a big space. And then up above, our Varsity Gym, and then that's just for the varsity students. We have 21 Varsity Sports. We're Division II. We're a Division II school, and a lot of our students are student athletes. So if that's something you're interested in, it's super doable to major, even double major, do something with the sports team here, and then still have time to kind of do something else. And then we also have another full gym here that's free for anybody to use that's not a varsity athlete. So we can head out in this hallway. And as we walk down here, all of these little showcases are from sports teams in the past. They're either awards or little memorabilia. And then the pictures up above that are all of our current sports teams. If you think you want to play a sport here, but don't know if you want to commit to like the whole time that would go into being a varsity athlete, we have club and intramural sports, which are also really popular. Ultimate frisbee and rugby being probably two of the most popular ones. And then we also have a swimming pool down that way that's open for any student to use, but also for like swimming.
And also, for whatever reason, if you cannot find something that you're interested in, which I think is very unlikely because we have so many things, and so, but you can always start your own club if you're interested in that. And it's not, you just need like a number of people who are interested in doing that thing with you, and you can start that club, and you will get a little funding from the school. And,
Yep. So this is another view of the gym that we just walked out of. And then this yellow building right across the street is our fire and rescue station on campus, which we are going to talk a little bit about as we're walking towards our next stop, which is this building right here. It's just the library. So our fire and rescue station is all completely student run on campus, which is really cool. Current students that are trained firefighters and EMTs, and they respond not only to stuff on campus, but to emergencies in the surrounding Chittenden County. A lot of people who maybe want to go into healthcare or in the medical field do the rescue squad, but it's also like open to anybody, no matter what major or future career you're interested in. It's a lot of work, but everyone I know who is part of that organization absolutely loves it. It's their favorite thing about campus. It's a really tight-knit community, and they do a lot of good. I know people who have like stories of people who've delivered babies in car crashes. But like luckily, the worst thing that happens on campus is somebody burns popcorn in their microwave and sets off the fire alarm. But it is super nice to know that if there was an emergency, they're literally right across the street. But yeah, luckily the emergencies they respond to are really off campus. So we are kind of at the library now, and we're gonna head inside. Attached to our fire and rescue station is also our public safety office. And they patrol around campus, especially on the weeknights and then the weekends. But they're always doing rounds, which is just another like added level of safety and comfort. Yep, the siren, if you can hear that. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Could probably leave. No, we'll just carry it. So this is our library on campus. We're gonna head up to the second floor. Hello.
So that is the basement where you can study individually. We have individual study rooms. So if you do not want any distraction and want to concentrate on an assignment, you can go down there and find a room that is free and just work. We also have a number of books throughout the library, and we have around 270,000 books.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I think we add about 8,000 books per year.
I did know, yeah, that if our library does not have a book that you want, you can put in an interlibrary loan and our school will get that book for you.
Most of the books. Yeah, so this one's free. So, and as we were talking, most of the books are also available online. So if you're not on campus because of COVID or any other reason, if you're on exchange or something like that, you can still access most of the books through our online website for the library, which is very handy because you're not on campus and you still need to do your assignments. Yeah, and this room also has a number of pictures from all the people who went on exchange last semester or last year. Yes, last year.
Yeah, study abroad.
Yes. So all these pictures are from all the different places that people went to study abroad. And this is from a little competition that we have every year where the best pictures get like a little recognition. So if you can sing, this particular picture was one of the winners for that. So I think about 1/3 of our student body goes on some kind of study abroad program, which also includes some colleges inside the US itself, but you can also go to other countries, literally on the other side of the globe, if you are interested in that. And it is, I think, also encouraged that you do that if you're an anthropology major. So
Yes, some majors, are more likely to go abroad if you're a language major, international relations, anthropology, media, like journalism, stuff like that. But it's open for anybody to go. And if you're not interested in going for the entire semester, we offer like summer programs and winter programs, and then just kind of like 2-week study trips that are often connected to a class. I was going to go to England, that got canceled. But the class before COVID, it was so much fun. So I don't regret it at all, even though I wasn't able to actually go abroad. But we offer a lot of trips like that every semester. And then, yeah, I guess, do you want to talk a little bit about the resources we have in the library?
Yeah, so
Let me flip this. Okay.
the library has a lot of resources which are open to literally everyone. Doesn't matter what major or minor you are, all the resources are open to you. And the resources span from the writing center, where people will help you with the assignments, writing your essays, or working on any kind of other assignments that you have. We also have tutors who are students who have taken that class before and are good enough in that particular class to be able to help others. But you can also just always go to your professors if that works better for you. But again, that is just one of the resources that is available to you if you're a student here.
Yeah, and then we also have a bunch of resource librarians, which are by subject, which are super helpful when you need to write like a paper for a specific class, because they know what kind of bibliography you need and then what kind of format, which is super helpful. And then we also, that glass door down there is our academic enrichment office, which works with students with learning accommodations. And that's also where our tutoring center is attached to. But if you do have any documented learning accommodations, they're so helpful about getting extra time on tests or kind of working as an in-between between you and your professor to kind of just explain what you mean. And they also just work with students about time management, organization, figuring out your schedule, which are important skills that you just need to learn. And so it's really nice that they help with that.
And the library also has some tiny.
Thank you.
The library also has small events if you are into that and not want to study 24/7. And if you want to study 24/7, you can always like attend some of the events that the library has, which revolve around like reading and things like that. So for Valentine's Day, we had an event where you could take a blind date from the library, which was a book. They told you like one story summary of the book, but you couldn't see what the book was because it was in a bag. So you just took a book and then you read it and then told them if you liked it or not. And attached with that, they also had a lucky draw. So if you participate in that event, you also had a chance of winning like a chocolate box or things like that.
That's fun.
Yeah. So whatever your interests are, I'm pretty sure you can find something fun to do with it here.
Definitely. Yeah. And then this right here is our library lawn. We have a lot of events that usually take place out here, usually involving music, like our a-cappella groups or our student bands, food trucks. A lot of clubs on campus kind of put out booths and things. We usually do one of those days each semester, like a fall fest and then kind of a spring fest. And those are a lot of fun to attend. So right now we're going to be walking into our first year residence housing area. So right here is kind of the freshman area. You're going to be here and it's super close to the academic buildings, which is super nice. Everything's really contained kind of in this quad area. And then we have a lot of upperclassmen housing and suite style housing kind of a little farther down that way. But yeah, for first years, you're going to be either in this building right here or the building like diagonal back there. Unfortunately, we can't go in the buildings today just because of COVID, but we do have some pictures, and we also offer virtual residence tours, which are live and with students living in different residences on campus. So that's a virtual event that we offer that might be pretty helpful and fun to check out.
Yeah, and generally as a freshman, you would always have at least one roommate that you're living with.
Just one, yeah. No forced double, triples or anything.
But after that, you sometimes have a choice of going into the suites, and if you're a senior, into the townhouses, where you can have more roommates if you like. And I am living in a suite myself because I'm an international student, and we have a really good international housing program here, which is called GEAR, so, and which I will be RAing for next year. So if you have any questions about that, being an RA or housing, you can ask us here. And so suites are a bit different than other housings because it's like living in a flat with a number of other people. I live in a four people flat, and there are also 8 people flats. If you're interested in that, you can find your group and all of you can live together if you like.
Yeah, so these are some pictures of a first year residence hall. So to kind of give you an idea of how big they are, we have a bed, a desk, and then another bed would be on this side. So they're really good size. And then they have like a desk, a dresser, bed, and something to put your clothes in. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry, somebody put it in the chat. But yeah, I lived in just kind of a traditional first year residence housing my freshman year. And it was really great. I got to know the girls on my floor really well. And then the RAs put on a lot of activities throughout the week and then just throughout the semesters. Have you gone to any RA events?
Yes.
What's been your favorite one?
Most of the RA events this year have been virtual because we are not allowed to meet in person that much this year. My favorite event this year has been we watched movies together. So our RA, he put up a movie screening for all the people on our floor. And then we watched the movie, and then we were just free to chat with each other if we wanted. And I guess that was really helpful in getting to know more people on our floor.
Yeah.
And just connecting with them, because right now it can be a little difficult to meet people, but when everything opens up again, everything will be real. Even today, right before this, one of the RAs in my building had a grab and go popsicle event program. They could just go to them and get like an ice cream.
Yeah.
Eat it whenever you want.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is our student center. If you can hold the camera for me, thank you. So this is our makerspace on campus. I work here, and it's kind of like a big craft room. We offer a lot of stuff. We have vinyl cutting if you want to make your own stickers, sewing, laser cutter, printer, and this is all completely free for students to use, and it's really cool. Some people can make some really interesting things. I make stickers and I put them on our fridge in our apartment for my roommates and I. But yeah, some classes are in here, but mostly it's just kind of for students to use on their free time. This building really is just kind of for us to use. We're gonna head upstairs, and they have some more kind of hangout areas. This is our Instagram wall. It kind of gives you an idea of what some sort of activities people like to do on campus, what kind of the life people live here. This is from my mentoring group, that was a lot of fun. We went apple picking that day. And then we have pictures from people who have done service trips, building houses, and then just kind of like people on sports teams, and just pictures from around campus in Vermont. And then over here we have Einstein's. It's closed right now. The hours are a little bit different this semester, but it's usually open in the evenings, which is really nice if you want a snack late at night if you're studying or just kind of hanging out. That's an option for food on campus.
We will be talking more about food when we get to Elliott, which is our food center basically. And
so this is the second floor of Dion, our student center. Over here we have a cardio gym. And then kind of on this side, we have our pool table, some just chairs for studying, and then our radio station, which is kind of fun. You can have your own radio show if you want. My freshman year, I came here and I just sat and did my homework and listened to people's shows, which was really fun and just kind of like something I hadn't seen at another college, like a radio station. So I really like that. Yeah, and then kind of if you walk this way, more in that direction is more of like our upperclassmen housing. But
just show people if they can see.
Yeah.
Things pretty far away, but yeah.
So we're gonna head to Alio now. Upstairs on the third floor is our boardroom, which is like a meeting area. We have events in there. Each semester, yeah, we host the Red Cross blood drive, which a lot of people participate in, which is great.
On the third floor, there's also a meditation room.
Oh yeah.
And a prayer room and some other things like that. So if you want to pray or meditate in a peaceful environment, you can always go there. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Good. Hold this.
Yeah.
Thank you. So walking out of the student center, this building right here is where we're going in next, and that's Alio. Just to kind of give you an idea of where we are, right across are the academic buildings, and then right behind this building is where like the first year residences are. That kind of sloped roof right there. Downstairs is our mailroom. And then around campus, just throughout, we have the emergency blue light system, which is connected to our public safety office. And then that building right back there is our wellness center. And that's where we have nurse practitioners and mental health counselors, which are all available for students to use. And then we also are really close to Fanny Allen, which is a emergency room, and then UVM Medical Hospital. So if there's ever a medical emergency, help is very close by, which is good.
So have you ever been in an emergency where you...
I have not, luckily, no. But yeah. All right. Yeah. So right in here, we have a couple bulletin boards. So this is our move board. As I mentioned kind of in the chapel, thank you. MOVE stands for Mobilization of Volunteer Efforts, and this is our volunteer organization on campus. A lot of people get involved some way or another, whether it's a one-time thing. We have apple picking in the fall semester for freshmen, which is a really kind of popular way to get to know people. And then all of the apples that we pick gets donated to a food shelf, which is really, really great. I'm part of a mentoring program on campus, DREAM, which works with kids living in affordable housing to shorten the opportunity gap, which is one of my favorite things about campus. Just seeing those kids makes my day every time I see them. We bring them here to our cafeteria and they get food. We brought them bowling, ice skating, to the movies, stuff like that. And just kind of providing them with some role models and just a group setting that cultivates like skills that they'll need going forward. But then we also have stuff with senior citizens, children, which I mentioned, animals. We have correctional volleyball, and then like, oh my gosh, what's it called? We have a lot of programs here on campus. I'm so sorry, I couldn't think of best buddies. That's what I was thinking of. So pretty much any area of service that you want to get involved with, we have something here, which is really great. And then on this board here is our CMAS board, which is our Center for Multicultural Affairs and Services, and the office is upstairs, and that works with just kind of engaging diversity, cultural awareness on campus, works with students to form affinity groups, and then they also put on a ton of fun events throughout the semester, and it's just kind of like another area for people to get involved with anything that they're passionate about on campus. So walking this way.
Also, as you can see, the calendar is still full, even though COVID is around. So people are still trying to do things, a lot of fun things, a lot of social service.
And then over here is our campus store, which is where we have books, clothes, medicine. Almost every semester I forget something at home, but luckily the campus store has that stuff. And then over here is just kind of people put stuff that's going on right now. Have a little sign for people to sign, help spread the love, stop like all the Asian discrimination right now. And then we also have just other bulletin boards about stuff that's going on campus and the world. Then going into Alio. Are we able to go in for the tour? Like we're doing a virtual tour. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, thank you.
So,
do you wanna?
Yeah.
Okay.
So generally, depending on what kind of a food plan you are on, you can get up like unlimited plan, what we call, or if you're a senior, generally I think you get like 40 slides a day.
Yeah, it's just if you have a kitchen in your apartment or house or not. If you have a kitchen, like Swapnil said, you have 40 times you can come in a semester. If you don't have a kitchen, it's unlimited.
Avia is really good about food because there's not just one kind of food you can get. We have a number of stations, which we will show you, which range from meat to vegetarian food to vegan food. And if you have any kind of allergies or food restrictions, you can get food specially made for you. So if you can just see that.
Mhm.
The first station there is for meat, if you want to eat that. And then there's a number of other stations depending on what kind of food you want to eat. There's also a lot of drinks and breakfast, cereal, milk, and fruits, and all of these things are always there. So at whatever time you're hungry, I think they close at 7 now. So until 7, whenever you're hungry, you can always come here and grab something to eat. And we also have grab and go, so you can just get your food and take it and go to your room or go to your friend's place or like a place that you really like on campus and eat there. You don't have to eat here.
Yeah, and as what Neil said, yeah, we have some stations that stay here all the time, and then some stuff that switches up. This bulletin board is for requests, which is really fun. That if you like, so I see somebody here wrote chocolate chip banana bread, and so like the workers here are really, really helpful and good and great about like kind of taking our requests, and then you'll see it in the next week or so. And then we also do some theme dinners throughout the year, which are really fun. Typically like before we go home for breaks, whether it's like Christmas or Thanksgiving, we'll have a big dinner. Thank you very much. And a lot of people come with their friends. The cafeteria is all decorated and all the food is on theme, which is really fun. So yeah, that was our cafeteria. If anyone has any questions, please add them. So we are kind of back where we started. This is the chapel, and this is the Welcome Center, which is where we started the tour. So I think here is a good spot for us to kind of wrap things up. If anybody has any outstanding questions, please put them in here or email them to one of the tour guides at our school. You can find all of our information on the St. Michael's tour guide page. But yeah, usually to kind of end tours, we talk about why we chose St. Mike's. So for me, I was really looking for a school with a strong sense of community, really just a place where I felt very comfortable, where I could grow academically, and then just kind of as a person. And I really found that with St. Mike's. Just everyone here is honestly the friendliest, most helpful, sweetest people I've ever met. No, honestly, like I met with an admissions counselor, I met with some professors in the English department, and they were just so amazing. Like they made me really feel like I'd be a really valued member of the St. Michael's community. And I toured the campus and I just absolutely loved it. So yeah, it was really the community feel for me and just the people I've met here. And it's my favorite place in the entire world. I love it so much. So yeah, that's why I chose the school.
I chose St. Michael because I wanted to go to a small liberal arts college, which would also allow me to pursue my extracurricular interests. So like outdoors and theater and all of those things. And St. Michael's was a really good fit, especially outdoors because of the locations. We are in Vermont, so we get like snow and we have a bunch of mountains and we have Winooski River and Lake Champlain. So there are a lot of opportunities to go outside, but there are also a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things on campus. So like the theater club that I'm part of, and one of my favorite things that I got to know after coming here was the club called Random Acts of Kindness.
Oh yeah.
Which is exactly what it sounds like. So we just do basically random acts of kindness. And it could be like giving someone an ice cream or giving someone like a smiley note or like a note that like wishes them a good day or something like that. And even though it's like really small things, I think it has a big impact on people's days and the weeks. And I think that also reflects a lot in the community here, because whenever you're walking, even people you do not know, they will wave at you, smile at you, hold the doors for you and things like that. And all these small things are what made me stay.
Yeah. No, it's a great place, and we really hope that you all enjoyed the tour. And hopefully this was helpful for your college search. I know it can be stressful, and I can't even imagine doing it like during COVID pandemic. But yeah, like we said, if you have any last questions, please feel free to reach out to anybody at the school. Anybody would be really happy to help you. But other than that, thank you everyone who attended for coming. Yeah. And just hope you have a great rest of your day and great rest of your college search and future and stuff. So thank you a lot.